Okay, am I entering a wife era? I carried this. But you mean to tell me my great-great-grandma had the same issue?
Pretty girls in the VIP, they came with drinks. They don't need ID, blow the whistle.
Hi guys, it's currently 1 in the morning. I ended up meditating midday because sometimes, well, I feel like just in general, I guess restarting my life has been because today it was an, I guess the acknowledgement was intense, and I heal. I'm telling you, as I've been healing, it gets really like spiritually I get exhausted. Like I have to meditate because it's just, that's what it is. I feel like my soul is, it depends on the situation, my soul is like tired. So that when people say be kind to yourself, like I finally get it when people say you have to be kind to yourself. Because it's not like, for me, when I came to the, I don't know if you can hear me because I know the water's running, but for me personally, when I was like, okay, like I got here to Juarez, I was like, oh, okay, God, like if I'm gonna go through this, if I'm gonna heal myself, like I'm gonna do it. Like I'm not gonna, it's obviously wasn't in my bingo card, but I was gonna, like, I'm gonna go through it. And as long as my kids and future generations don't have to go through any of this, like I'm cool. I'll take it for, I'll take one for the team. And sometimes when I, like, some things are good, like, don't get me wrong, because I feel like yesterday, it's like nonstop. Like, sometimes I'm like, God, like, I'm done, and it's like, no, I'm not done. Like, like, next, here comes the next thing. But overall, like, I don't regret any of this. But today was just very exhausting. It was exhausting. Like I try to push myself to go through with my routine. And I don't suffer from like anxiety or like any of that stuff. But today I was just tired, like physically tired. Like I really needed to meditate. And the way I know when I need to meditate, if my hips are tight, I need to release all that tension that your body just holds on to. So my plan was meditate for 10 minutes and then go to the gym. Child, that did not happen. That did not happen. I ended up waking up and it was like 10 o'clock. And then I was like, okay, like that's okay. I'm okay with that. Like I'm fine with that. Come on here and talk to you guys about something. And I was just like, well, should I even like I didn't know how to, if I should sit down and talk about it, but since I'm doing dishes, let's just talk about it. And hopefully the water, you can't hear the water. So like, I think a couple of days, I was like coming to the realization that I'm like, wow, like, oh, life is changing, right? And to me, it's funny because I have this person in my life, but he basically like was telling me how everything was gonna play out, whatever. When I got here, when we started dating. And because I was just very blinded, I was very blinded to the things of this earth. I was just blinded, child. I was like, who is this man trying to tell me what to do? Like, nobody tells me what to do. So whatever, as I started healing myself and finding myself again, like, come find out this week, I was like, wow. I let myself go. It's like it's not a touchy subject anymore because I let it go, you guys, and I don't want to talk about it like too deep because I'm like giving life to what has happened. I'm a very spiritual girl, and I'm very cautious of the things I speak about because you can give life to things that have already passed. That's why I don't really be talking about traumas and all that. Cause like, okay, we went through the trauma, we acknowledged it, we let it go. There's just no point in speaking about it. Like, why even bother? And you already let it go. So anyways, I had, in 2019, I lost my brother. Very unexpected, very tragic. And like that broke me really bad. 2020 for me, like everybody was like, oh, the pandemic or all that stuff. But for me, it sounds so mean, and I literally asked God for forgiveness. But I didn't care. I didn't care in the way that this is happening to the world, but I'm already at rock bottom, you know, like, why is this even like phasing me? Like, I lost it. I lost my brother. Like, this, I didn't care about the pandemic. And I felt like during the pandemic, I needed to heal. I needed to heal, and I didn't heal because I was in toxic environments. Every aspect in my life, every person in my life, well, not every person, was just toxic. I was in a toxic relationship, toxic work environment. It was just horrible. My family was grieving. We were just, no. So I was just in a really bad space. So like I would go to work and I didn't care anymore. As soon as my brother passed away, I wanted to quit. Like, I was just like, I want to quit. I don't want this job. The person that I was dating at that time, they were just like, no, you can't quit. But it wasn't in a motivational way, is what I like to say. Anyways, so he was just like, don't quit, you're going to lose it all. And I'm like, I'm not afraid to lose it all. What comes after this? Because I lost, my brother. Like, you can't, I don't care. At that point, I was just like, I don't care. I don't have children. I don't have anybody that depends on me except that person that, it was him who he did depend on me. But my mind, I was just like, I'm over it. Like, I don't care what happens. I don't care what goes on after this. I'm already at a low place. So that was during the pandemic. I was still working my job. The job it had good benefits, but it just wasn't worth all that. It was so, like, the harassment, what I had to deal with, like, it was just horrible. I was just at a very toxic work environment. So imagine it's like you're at a toxic work environment and then you're coming home and then you're in a toxic relationship with like a person can only handle so much. So I had to manipulate myself to be like, you know what, I don't care. And then I just started, like, I guess I started planting that seed of like, I don't care, but it was just like anger that was being built up on these people because they were just like horrible in my life. So I wanted to quit. Here comes 2021. I got let go of that toxic work environment and I was just felt very relieved. So I get to Mexico. And then I didn't realize how broken I was. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize how broken I was because through it all, I still kept pushing. I still kept telling myself, you're fine. I remember that I used to go to the beach and cry. I would literally cry at the beach because I couldn't see. I never asked God, like, why is this happening to me? I never in my life did that. I just knew that I had to get through it. If I could get through it, I stopped drinking. I knew how to change my life around because I knew that I didn't want to be in a cycle. This was going to end. So I get here to Mexico. I thought I was only going to be here for a week, child, and then I already knew I wasn't going to come back. Is it weird that I knew I wasn't going to go back? The way that God was speaking to me, how the whole way to Mexico, I was just walk by faith, not by sight. I was just very like, okay, God, I'm doing this. I don't know what's going to happen next, but I'm going to do it. Come find out, I stayed here longer than I thought. Here we go, going on 4 years. But the whole point of this conversation is that it took me literally 3 years to literally sit down and I lost myself. The acknowledgement that I let myself go, that I lost myself, and I'm barely getting it together. I had a conversation and I told God, I was like, God, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do things my way anymore. I'm done doing things my way. And I had certain people in my life and things were going just left. Like,
I kept having BFs.
I'm gonna have a BF. Oh my god, she's gonna have a bitch fit. Oh.
And I was hurting these people, and I'm like, we were with my family, with my dad. We just kept fighting, and I was like, God, I don't know. I don't want this. And then my relationship, I was just taking it out on him, and I was like, he has nothing to do with what's going on. I feel like he couldn't trust me, not because of infidelity issues, but he couldn't trust me because it's like he couldn't give me his love because I was mean to him. So then I sit down and I'm like, God, I don't want to do things my way because I'm seeing the effect that it's having in my life. Okay. So I had to put in the work, and I'm putting the work, and it wasn't easy the way that I used to be. If I could describe myself how I used to be, I was just not nice. I was not nice. Yeah, that's just what I'm going to say. I was not nice. So, like the people in my life could see the good in me. I could see I'm such a great person, but I couldn't see that in myself. And one time, somebody close to me, I think it was my sister, she goes like, you know what? Deep down inside, you're so loving and kind. She goes like, well, you put up a front to be this tough girl. And I was like, I am tough. So that's the person that I used to be. So it took me some time. When I had a conversation with God, I was like, I'm over it, God. I started going to the gym. And I feel like I didn't know anything about the gym. I didn't know nothing. And I was just going there because I was like, I need to find ways to mentally let go of things, to work out, because I had so much rage in me that I'm like, I'm running, I'm doing cardio. And at that time, this person was telling me like, okay, you need to do this, you need to work out, you need to do a split, do this. Like he helped me a lot. He helped me a lot get myself together. And at that time, I wasn't appreciative of it because I'm like, what is he talking about? Like, what? I was still manipulating myself to thinking that I had together, and I didn't. I was probably at the lowest point in my life. But when it all comes into a full circle, I'm like, oh, like that's what he meant. Just fighting. And I mean fighting not physically, but like you, throughout the healing journey, you get a lot of things that try to stop you from healing. For me, I struggled a lot with my dad. Like, I don't want to speak about my dad, but I can say that I had a lot of anger towards my dad. I think the people that know me very personally and close, they know what happened with that, where my anger came from. And I never saw the outcome of it. All I knew that the man in my life, he told me like, you gotta fix that. He goes like, you gotta fix that, because when we have kids, I don't want my daughters to treat me the way you treat your dad. And I was like, it hit me to where I was like, okay, like he really motivated me to fix that, to let go of the anger and the hurt. And I actually got to heal that wound with my dad. But at the same time, healing yourself, you come into acceptance of, okay, that person is not going to change. They're going to continue to be who they are because that's who they choose to be. But at the end of the day, I have the choice to be free and move on with my life. Like, I'm glad I got to that point where I'm like, okay. And I saw the reflection with my dad and how that affected him, the type of men that I dated. And it's like, for once I have the man I've prayed for, and I didn't want to mess that up. So when all that came to closure, and I feel like my dad disappointed me the last time, I was just like, I gotta let that go. Like, he disappointed me one last time, and it wasn't up to me to carry on that grudge. Like, I had to let go of it because I was like, no, my kids are not. That's who he chooses to be, and that's fine. But I'm, God bless. I have to move on with my life. I'm okay not talking to him because I feel like if God really wanted him in my life, he would have been in my life by now. So it's just like, yeah, the manipulation, wasn't gonna work on me anymore. And I'm not like, it wasn't an ego thing. So that was one of the biggest challenges that I had while I was healing, while I'm trying to build myself up. It was more like you're trying to do good for yourself, and here comes somebody trying to pull you backwards. They don't like, it's so crazy to me how somebody can have satisfaction from seeing you hit rock bottom. And then you do not know that God sees everything. So if somebody crosses me or says something about me, I'm not worried because God saw that. So the next time you can't, your conscience is, yeah, don't play. God does not play about me. So that was like a huge obstacle that I had. And then dealing like, how did this all start? So, okay, going to down your traumas, not your traumas, because sometimes you carry stuff that, oh, I carried this. But you mean to tell me my great-great-grandma had the same issue? Okay, we got to go down the family tree. So I went down the family tree, okay? And I said, where did this come from? And then I'm like meeting family members. I'm like, oh, how was my grandma? Oh, your grandma was XYZ. And I'm like, grandma, we got a lot of things to do. We got a lot of healing to do. So that's another part. It was a struggle for me because I'm like, I mean, at one point I was like mad because I'm like, my ancestors, really? We could, it's okay. Like, you know, I love my ancestors. They keep me grounded, and yeah. So I went down the family tree and I started realizing like, where did all this anger and hurt comes from? And then I'm like, oh my goodness, that's why. Okay, so then that was another part of healing that I went through, healing generational traumas. And I'm not going to give myself the credit, okay? I can't. While I've been here, I tried to find a church community. And I did find a church. The church it's a good church. It's a good church. I found God. Well, it was a good church. The only thing that I disliked, it wasn't the church, but it was the people. And I know sometimes when my mom used to tell me, like, you're being tested, you can't fold. When I started getting closer to the church, and I'm over here thinking, like, oh, maybe I should volunteer to help clean the church. Because the way my life changed going to the church, the way my faith grew with that pastor here in Mexico, I feel like I didn't know how I could repay them for what they did for me. Not in a sense that they did something for me, but just the prayers they would do for me. I found my deep spirituality here in Mexico. I found God in Mexico. The healing, praying over you, like when people prayed over me, I feel like a couple of times, because my worries at that time, I was grieving and I had deep conversations with that pastor, and I'm not going to go into detail, but we had deep conversations, and yeah, it was wisdom that helped me carry out. I've carried out to this day. And also, when I went through the scare, I had a scare when I had a cyst in my ovaries, and then I had to get tested for ovarian cancer. They prayed over me, and it allowed me to break through, to have real faith. So I removed myself from the church because there were just people there that just, and it's unfortunate because when I see, like, my discernment never lies to me. So when I see people of the church gossiping and, well, what are you doing here? What are you doing there? It's like, it doesn't align with the purpose that God has for me. And maybe it doesn't align with your purpose as well. So I just have to remove myself. And that's why I stopped going. But I learned stuff here in Mexico. And I've met different pastors. Oh my gosh, amazing people. But when I removed myself from the church, I removed myself from the community because when you insert yourself in a community, people see it as you're only part of our community. And that's not how I am. Because I can be part of something, the chess club. And I can be part of the swim club because I love to swim. So me being in alignment with God and going to church. And if I go to the gym, I was being judged. If I'm showing my tattoos, I'm being judged. If I'm saying hi to a homeboy, oh, you're being judged. You hang out with them? Oh, yeah. So I didn't like that also. So it wasn't aligning with my purpose with God. Child, I can have a conversation now, like my highest self. I'll walk somewhere. I see a homeless, I'll feed a homeless. I see a lady trying to walk across the street, I'll help her cross the street. And it's not something that I'm like, oh, I'm showing off. It's something that I do from my heart. That I can go into the gym and be this work out at the gym and I'm not being judged. And even people at the gym are like, oh, she's like high and by. Because that's literally me. I'm a dog mom. I'm a woman of God. I do different things. And I can't be judged by what I do. Because then I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, and nobody knows that. I'm on the move. I'm always on the move. And it's like different people don't know that. You guys may see me on here, but in real life, nobody knows I have a YouTube channel. Obviously, my mom, my brother, and my close friends know. But my neighbors don't know that. People at the gym don't know that. So then that was my experience. So my online church, I love my online church, Pastor Ron and Pastor Hope. Oh, amazing. They've literally, oh my goodness, just this year, I mean, not just this year, but since I've been here, because I would go between sermons. Just this year, oh my goodness, I am amazed by how this year has been just putting into practice with what Pastor Ron has taught. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So then I had to heal myself spiritually. We had to go down the generational traumas, generational, all that stuff. And then I had to heal myself with my parents, with both of my parents. I feel like at one point it wasn't just my dad, because it was also my mom. I think the healing with my mom was a little different though. Me and my mom have a lot, but we got out of it. So that's one thing about my mom. I will always love my mom because when there was seasons of struggle, me and my mom got through it. So that's why I have respect for my mom. Also because this isn't the first time I hit rock bottom. There was another time where I hit rock bottom in, I think it was like 18, and she pushed me through. This time I had to go through it alone. But with my mom, it was just like I saw the toxic side and I'm like, Mom, I know where I got my little toxic side. I don't want to be that toxic girl. So I acknowledged that, but it was easier to let go of. Yeah, I went through the emotions. I was mad, but forgiveness is the key, people. Forgive your parents and dig down the trauma hole. Dig down to the generational trauma. That's one of the most important things. And then if you go through the generational trauma hole, then you're going to realize why your parents are the way they are. And then it's going to be easier to forgive them and move on. Because now, the way that I healed my relationship with my mom, and when she comes to see me, our conversation, God is in the middle. God is in the center of our conversations. Because we have conversations. She hit me in the soul. Because of the way our relationship has improved now, it's enriched. I'm going to be a great mom. I'm going to be a wise mom. I'm going to be giving wisdom left and right because of the relationship I have with my mom. Maybe with my dad, the thing that I learned with my dad is that I healed that part of me that needed a dad when my dad wasn't there. And that's all I needed. I needed to heal that part. I needed to heal that part. And I didn't even know it. I thought if me and my dad get along now, we're going to forever get along. And then I'm going to be like, great. Because in my head, what I thought was that I have a perfect relationship with my dad. When I get married, my man's going to ask for my hand in marriage. I'm going to be like, Dad, what do you think? I would include my dad in it. God said something else. God told me, like, you were only meant to heal those wounds because you can't fall into manipulation. When people want to have power over your life, oh goodness, you really have to be awake to be like, no, you have to set boundaries. And if right now, if we're not talking, it's okay. Like, I'm fine with it because I already healed what I needed to heal. Okay. I've dealt with that. I dealt with the manipulation. I know I'm not the only one, but I grew up in an environment, toxic, very toxic environment with both of my parents. My dad, every time that I succeeded at something, my dad would always be the first one to hate me, to hate on my success. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but I was able to heal those wounds. So after I healed myself, after I healed generational traumas, after I healed a relationship with my parents, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like, okay. And then God said no. So then I had to heal myself. I had to heal my body. Child, if I could tell you honestly, I know how everything's gonna play out so perfect, and I know it, but I laugh because I'm like, when I get these moments, I'm like, oh my goodness, okay. I had to heal my health. I had to take care of myself, my body. I am the black duckling of my family, okay? I'm definitely the black duckling. So I started to take care of myself, take care of my health, go to my doctor's appointments. I wasn't suffering from anything chronic. But when I had that issue with my hormones, when I had that cyst, I had, what else? I just had that going on, honestly. And to me, that was like the worst thing. But I had to heal myself. And again, the special man in my life, he was there for me. He would like encourage me. He's like, you're gonna get through that. Like, it's done. And I'm like, what do you mean it's done? I'm having a full-on panic attack. He was right. Okay. So with that being said, I had to heal myself internally, heal my gut, my health. Obviously, I want to be a mom and I want to be a wife, so I gotta make sure that my body's ready. And how do I know that? Because he told me that. He had said that to me, like, so you gotta heal your body, you're gonna carry babies. And I'm like, okay. And it took me a good year and a half to like, oh, this is what he meant by saying that. This is why I'm going to the gym. Yeah. So, then I had to go through that. Obviously, I put God in the center because the way that my body healed, my body didn't heal. Like, my body healed overnight. When I say overnight, my cyst was gone in 3 days. I started doing the oil packs and my cyst was gone. I don't want to talk about it too much, but anyways, so I had to heal my health. Now that I'm over with my health, child, I had some on my skin. I had a ringworm on my skin that I didn't even know of. Like, it was probably there until I used tretinoid and then it bursted. So that's why I haven't been wearing makeup. And then I'm like, okay, well, now I'm healing my skin. And while I'm healing my skin, I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta take better care of my skin. So this whole time that I haven't been wearing makeup, I'm like, oh, somehow my confidence just went. I got my confidence back during this time. Because for me, I can tell you guys but for me, I feel like I always had a pretty privilege. Okay, like I've been pretty my whole life. And that sounded kind of, yeah. Okay, I've been pretty my whole life. And with that, it feeds your ego and it's not okay. If there was something that I was like, no, I grew up my whole life hearing how pretty I am. My whole life. If one thing my parents did was feed my ego as a child to now. Not to now, but so yeah, no. I don't recommend it, okay? If you have a pretty child, humble that kid, okay? Humble. And I'm speaking from experience. So, not wearing makeup was like, it was a little shocking for me because I'm like, I would always wear makeup if I'm going somewhere, like I'm looking nice, like. And one thing that I've learned is that you can't be wearing all that makeup and be trashy on the inside. That's literally it. I can't be like, child, I got some on my skin. Why am I going to be wearing makeup? Hiding it? You're hiding all the stuff that's around you that you really got to work on before you can get there. So that's why. And now I'm like, oh, finally I'm cleared. I want to give myself the clearance now. But I'm still using the lotion. I'm just going to use the lotion till the end of this month. So now I'm at the phase of finding myself again. It's exciting. It's walk by faith, not by sight, because I don't know how what my higher self likes. Okay, am I entering a wife era? I'm gonna enter a wife era pretty soon. So as a high, I don't want to say high value, as a wife, I know I'm gonna have, I like, right now, I let go of my past. I healed, cool. But as a wife, I'm not gonna, I live in yoga pants. I live in gym clothes. As a wife, I could speak for myself. It's not like what society has. But as a wife, I want to be taken seriously. If I want to be taken seriously, the way you dress, the way you portray yourself, the way you act, that's what's really going to bring that, okay? So that's the version I'm working on. I'm working on my highest self version. The Adriana who is well put together. That is what I'm working on right now. That's the face I'm working on. And this week, I was just like, wow. Everything happens for a reason. I cannot imagine myself staying back in California. What would have happened to me if I would have never ended up here? I don't want to think about that. My teeth would probably have been still crooked. I don't know. And I don't want to think about that. But all I can say is that I'm grateful that I ended up where I ended up at. That I was able to heal so much. I was able to heal. I was able to get myself together. Child, I don't know what's going to happen between now and the next 3 months, the next 8 months, but I'm just looking forward to it. And I think this is more a moment of being vulnerable, that life is not perfect. My life is not perfect. I am not. My life before this, no, it was glitz and glam. Adriana had it all together and she had it all figured out. She drove foreign cars and yeah, she had a brand. She had all purses. But one thing I didn't have was fulfillment. I didn't have it together. The things that I value more now, I never had them back there. Back there. Yeah. I didn't have them, and I can truly say that Mexico saved my life. Juarez saved my life. I know it's not the safest city. I know my way. Child, I was never gonna come back here. I never wanted to come back. I laugh about it now because I was like, how I had so much resentment towards this place. And how is it that I ended up living in my childhood home? I healed myself in my childhood home. I went back to my father's hometown. I healed generational traumas. I'm grateful with God, and sometimes for now, I'm just like, wow, God really saved me, and I'm just so grateful. And I'm looking forward to what's next, because if I got so far out and I'm like, oh, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling like myself again, I have my routine going on, I have my dog, I love my dog, like my dog didn't wake me up from like good 3 sleep paralysis, okay? My dog slapped me out of that paralysis. When I just got my dog, Jesus knew what he was doing with me. Jesus knew what he was doing when he put that dog in my life. Okay, I love my dog. Oh goodness, it's been a ride, but I'm literally looking forward to what's about to happen. Something great, something amazing is about to happen, and I just keep looking forward to those moments. And if you got this far in my video, make sure you like this video, okay? Let me know, because this is a moment. This is a connection that we get to have. I know that, I don't want to say I don't take anything seriously, but on social media, I kind of didn't take anything seriously. Like, I don't care. I'm going to post this. I'm going to post that. I'm going to say what I want. Your feelings can get hurt, because in my head, it's like the internet. If you want to go online and say you're a lawyer, people will believe you. You can make up anything out of the internet, and it's like, go on Wikipedia and say you're XYZ. And I'm like, that's why I never took the internet seriously. I'm like, what? So, my personality can be a little, I love to be fun. I love fun, but I'm not sarcastic anymore. Okay, I can't be sarcastic. A wife is not sarcastic. So, you guys, this is what's been going on. This is like my true self right now. How much I've endured. And see, I was very skeptical. This video has been in the making for 2 years. Okay. And I was not ready to talk about it. Even today, I was just kind of like, God, I don't want to talk about it, but I feel like I could talk about it in different terminologies. Like, because we don't talk about what happened, the negativity, all that is like, it is what it is. But if I always tell myself, if my story can help somebody, great. I would always see people say, oh my God, not oh my gosh. Okay, I would see people's testimonies on YouTube, and they would go into detail like, I went through this rabbit hole. I went through this and that. And I'm like, how can they healed me now? I can't sit here and tell you guys exactly what I went through. Because it's like the more you give in life to what has passed, and I can't do that. So I did my best to explain to you guys that, I did go through certain situations, but I got out of it. I healed traumas, but I didn't talk about the traumas, okay? My life is not perfect. I'm not perfect, but we're getting through it, okay? And I'm excited for what's about to happen. Something great's about to happen. I already know it. I already feel it. Me and God are one. We're good. We're great. So before I wrap up this video, because I'm almost done, I do want to give you guys some tools. Okay, these are the things that helped me understand. They helped me understand my relationship with God. One is the Bible. Listen, there's a Bible app. Download your Bible app, okay? 2, because I didn't grow up. I grew up being Catholic, but I was just Catholic because I'm like, what is even Catholic? I don't want to talk about religions. But my parents were very involved in the church, but I didn't know God. I didn't even read the Bible. I didn't even know. So the way that I started reading my Bible, and I still didn't understand it, but then I have some apps that break down the Bible. And then if you go on the Bible app, they do have breakdowns for you. Everything's easier. This is why I love technology. You can use it as an advantage to your life. And then I also read some books that helped me snap out of this earthly shenanigans. I'm going to list those books down below. I have 3 books that are my main books. And it's not the 48 Laws of Power, okay? There did come a point where I'm like, oh my goodness, Adriana, you've been using the 48 Laws of Power without any consent. But anyways, I am going to list those things down that helped me the most to break through, to be my best version. I want to say thank you guys for watching. This video is long. I want to say thank you guys for watching. I'm just grateful to be here, okay? Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.
Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle.